Okay, let's go through our custom gauge dial designs. Really simple. We've got our do-it-yourself Gauge Studio. If you want to read about it, you can just go to Products, Custom Gauges, DIY Designs Gauge Studio. This will take you through all the basics, lead times, how to do it, things like that. Here's some examples of some projects we've done. A couple things on here is one is what color are these actually going to be? The phone and your computer screen may be slightly different than the actual color. So if that's something you're concerned with, we have a gauge color palette swatch that you can order. We'll ship it out to you. We've got a bunch of them printed already in envelopes. We'll ship them out to you. You can look at it, check it out, decide which colors you want if you're not really sure. Here's the backlit colors we have available. We have a white, violet, blue. This is the same blue we use on our Performance 2, 69 series green, aviator red, orange, and yellow. So those are all your backlit colors that you can choose from. What we have here is this is just a little chart kind of giving you a guide as to some colors you should select. So what we're going to do is if you have a black graphic, what that means is that's the numbers and tick marks. The dial color is the actual dial. The graphic is the color and tick mark. So if you have black or white, you can choose any color. We can light any color through that. But as far as when you have a colored graphic, you really want to stay in that family. That way the colors will be more vibrant and more bright. So for example, if you put a red through a green, those colors are opposite on the color wheel and they will cancel each other out. You won't be happy with the lighting. So here's some recommendations. For blue, you want to stay in the blue family. Green, you want to stay in the green family. These warm colors, you want to kind of stay in the red, orange, or yellow family. Violet, you kind of want to stay around the violet family. Those are good rules to stick by. But generally, I prefer to, if I've got like blue numbers, I stick with blue lighting. That seems to work the best for in our experience. All right, so let's start this. Let's do a custom square body kit. What we're gonna do is this truck it's orange with blue stripes. So I'm going to choose right now. The customization is available in the Performance 2 Black, Performance 2 White, 69 series, and the Aviator series. There will be more series being added as time goes on, but this was a good place to start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my kit. I'm going to choose miles per hour, kilometers per hour. All of this here is going to be done in the Gauge Studio, so you can choose it here and in there, but the Gauge Studio is always going to override what you select here. All right, so as far as your speed senders, this truck is using a LSPCM, so I'm going to choose no speed sender. LS kit, I already have one. I'm good there. I'm definitely going to get the Snap Adapt. That's going to make my life easier. I'm going to add that to cart. Okay, so this is in my cart. Now I'm going to continue shopping. I've selected the kit. Now we're going to make the gauges custom. And I do that by clicking on this gauge custom shop. So here's our custom shop. We're going to let it load. There we go. So this is your default image. This is where we're going to start from. Pretty easy. You can choose any style that we have available. We're going to choose Performance 2. Here you can choose some ranges. You've got miles per hour and gas, miles per hour diesel, kilometer gas, kilometer diesel. So this will update. You can update this anytime you want. As long as you have it selected correctly at the end, you'll be fine. So we're going to keep this one gas. This one's got an LS swap. Uh, Here's your bezel finish. On this kit, it doesn't really, what we're going to do is this kit is actually installed behind the bezel. So I'm going to keep this black, but you can choose whatever you'd like. Pointer style, you've got two pointer options right now. We've got our backlit, our standard pointer, and then you can do our spun hub pointer if you want to dress it up a little bit. These are good for something that's a little more classy, higher end. If you're going more performance, you may want to stick with the regular. Black glass, I'm going to keep black glass on this one, but I'll just show it to you. Dome glass. You can see just a little reflection on there. Oh, this is cool too, is you've got a zoom function. You can zoom in on your, take a little more closer look. But I'm going to keep that flat glass. Okay, now let's choose the dial color. So I want this truck is orange, so we're going to do an orange dial. It has some blue accents, so we're going to do a blue graphic. And then we're going to do, actually, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I want it to be a little more violet lighting, so I'm going to do some red lights behind it. So let's see, I'm going to choose orange. I'm going to choose a blue. So I chose the orange and the blue. And while this looks okay, the orange and the blue are very similar in their hues or their values. So what I want to do is I want to choose something that's a little more contrast. So I can go either lighter on the orange and darker on the blue. There we go. I can see that better. Or I can go a little darker on the orange and a little lighter on the blue. Looks better, but I think I'm going to go with the lighter orange and the darker blue. I think that's going to give me a little more contrast, make it stand out a little more, a little easier to read. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check on my check. I'm going to do my, now we're going to do the red lines. So right here we have three choices. Red line 1 is the top one. Red line 2 is the middle one. Red line 3 is the third one. So we got 1, 2, and 3. And you can turn them all off. So it says here red line 1, black is no red line. So you can turn them all off. Take a look up here. There we go, no red lines if you just want a clean look. But on this truck, the red line is supposedly 7,000 RPMs. So what I think I want to do is I don't really want to do an orange line on there. That's not really going to pop very much. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a yellow for red line 2 and a red for, there we go. That's better. That's good. So I've got like this warning range on my tachometer between 6 and 7, and then red line at 7. Now for the final part is I'm going to choose the backlit color. Let's choose blue just for now. So this bottom dot, this bottom gauge here, that'll show you your backlit color. That's what it'll look like at night. Now, typically I would say do blue on here, but I know the radio on this truck has kind of a violet hue to it. So I'm going to try red, um, just because I've done this for a long time and I know it's going to look pretty good. So I'm going to do that. So now I'm just going to add that to the cart. Again, here's all the same information from before. Add that to the cart. Then I'm going to proceed to checkout. But real quick, let's go over the mobile process. Yes, we're going to load this GaugeStudio. Now, the only difference here is the selections, instead of being on the right-hand side, they're on the left-hand side. So we're going to scroll down and all the same information is right here. The exact same thing. So we're going to build the exact same thing. Performance 2, gas, oops, wrong one. Just, you'll have to, if you want to change something, you'll just have to scroll back up and look at it. Gas, okay. We're gonna go black bezels. There we go, let's change to black. We're gonna do spun hubs. We're going to do our light orange, dark blue, no red line, yellow, red lights. And there we go. So we've created the exact same thing that we did on the PC, uh, or on the browser, and same process. You can see everything just as well, and um, either way is fine. It's what you prefer. You can do this on a tablet, you can do this on your phone, whatever is best for you. Okay, so now let's go back to your order confirmation. This shows your order confirmation. This shows you the now don't worry too much about these previews here. What we're going to do is once you do your purchase, this shows you what you bought. You've got the kit with all the senders. This tells us what to actually do. Down here, if you want to look at whoops, if you want to look at your actual custom design, so go from view your personalization file, copy. I'm just going to paste that in. We'll see if we can figure out a way to make that an actual link you can click. And there you go. You can preview your custom design again. Going to show you exactly what you're going to get. You can print that out, look at it, hang it in your car, whatever you want to do. Go to your wife to show you what a good job you did. Whatever works for you. To our email. Let's go into our email. We've got our order confirmation that came in. Again, don't worry too much about this little thumbnail. We're still working on that to get that to be 100% correct. But this right here tells us everything that's in your order, or everything that's in your order. So it tells us the gauges, the colors, all this kind of stuff. This shoots over on our side and we'll see all that. Now, if you want to go back in your email later, you can just copy and paste. So we're going to say where it says do your personalization. We're just going to copy this up to this comma. Look where it says PNG, copy. Again, we'll figure out how to make that an actual link. I think that'll be cool. Paste it. And there you go. Or if you can't find it, just send us an email and we'll send you the link. That's easy too. So that's that. And then from there, we'll see the order and then your gauges they're going to be made. We're going to print them and get everything ready. But there's still more to the process. We still have to get them ready to go. So this right here is the next step on our side is the order will be printed, barcoded, and it'll get sent to the print shop. And from there, what our designer will do is he'll pull up the appropriate file. So we have some templates that we've pre-designed for each. Basically, all your selections are in a separate file. And then what he'll do is he will set up the file and assign all the appropriate settings. And then he'll send that to what's called a RIP. This will go to, so each one of these colors will be a different layer that's applied in the printing process. And he'll send that to the RIP software, and then he has to assign different values to each layer to make it print correctly, like on the color sample that you can get. And what this does is it is still a lot of work, but we've cut out the whole manually setting up to this point, which is saving, an hour or two every time. So that's why we have these templates set up. So once it's ripped, we'll print it. And here's an example of some printing you can see going on. We have we do digital printing on all of these custom jobs. And what we do is you can see that there's more than one being printed at a time. What we do that for a few reasons. One is during the printing process, in case there's a scratch or an error in the print, we can still use other sets. In the event that during the build process, a dial gets scratched or damaged, or or we go to do a QC check and the gauge fails before we ship it out, we can grab another dial, set it in there, and then what's left over we send to you. And then that way you can, in the event that you need service or something, we'll have the original dials and you don't have to pay to have them rerun. So we run the dials on the sheet. Then the next thing we do is we're going to laminate them with a 3M 468 MP military adhesive. This is what we use on all of our dials for all of our customers. So we laminate that on by hand. So that's a little bit of a process, but we do that for every single gauge. Then we apply what's called a pre-mask, and what this pre-mask does is it's a film, and so you'll see it if you need to open up that bag of dials. You'll see this film is still on there, and this applies a protective coating to the dials while they're being CNC cut, and also prevents them from being scratched once they're bagged and being stored. So it's just protective. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put them in our laser. So we register them to the registration marks in the laser. We cut them all out, and that again, that film is protecting them uh, from the laser, from the smoke, and then we'll bag them up. And then they go over to production, and they get assembled. And here you can see some examples of some sub-assembled gauges with some custom dials. And then, and then we ship them out to you. You'll get your tracking number via email. Uh, put them in just like any of our other gauge sets. If you have any other questions, give us a shout.